All right, now turning our focus to a special story on the dangers of artificial intelligence and mental health, especially when it comes to the mental health of young people. This is after a tragic teen suicide in the United States, which has raised concerns, in fact, sent shockwaves across the world about how AI chatbots are playing a crucial role in youngsters' lives. Now, this is 16-year-old Adam Rain, who died by suicide in April. Later, his parents, who were searching for answers as to what led to his death, found to their horror that in the days leading up to his death, the teen had been discussing his anxieties on ChatGPT with a chatbot, and that chatbot was actively encouraging his negative thoughts, even isolating him at times, saying that, your family doesn't understand you, I understand you, and this eventually led to him taking such a big step. In fact, ChatGPT even, discussing methods with the teenager. The parents filed a lawsuit against ChatGPT, alleging the AI chatbot played a role in the suicide. And following this, OpenAI did announce that they're bringing in new updates to ChatGPT with parental control and emergency resources when acute distress is reported. Social media platform Meta too has announced some measures for minors. But this tragedy has really served as a wake-up call to all parents, in fact to society in general, on the dangers of artificial intelligence and over-reliance on it. Well, to talk more about this, we're now joined by Jaspreet Bindra, founder, Tech Whisperer, Dr. Amit Sen, child and adolescent psychiatrist, Swati Mehrotra, a mom influencer, and Pratishtha Arora, CEO, Social and Media Matters, online safety expert. Thank you so much all for joining us, on this very important issue. And Jaspreet Bindra, I'd like to start with you. This case has been extremely shocking, especially when you read the types of conversation that were being had between the 16-year-old and the chatbot. And you're somebody, who's been talking about AI and, how AI is changing and, the powers of AI. What are your comments on what's taken place, and are the measures announced by ChatGPT, by Meta, enough?
Thanks, Gargi. No, certainly it's very tragic, and it was a shock to hear this. Unfortunately, we have seen this movie before. We saw it with social media, and there are actually unaccounted and lots of instances where it's been known and documented that especially children, they harmed themselves, did self-harm, or even committed suicide because of conversations that they were happening with other human beings on social media. Even in India, while we don't have a documented case, we have surveys where it's been shown that between 12 to 15% of youth had suicidal thoughts because of the overexposure to social media. Now with AI, this goes one step further. Just because now it's not just human beings that we have to deal with, but even in some sense other forms of intelligence. The only, in this tragic thing, the only silver lining that I can think of is that we've hopefully caught this malaise early. And so hopefully these platforms and these AI companies will put in the right safeguards much before social media got onto the act. You must understand, Gargi, that in many of these AI bots, especially ChatGPT, and Sam Altman has been known to say this earlier, these bots are designed to please. They're almost sycophantic. They are there to kind of understand you and please you and
Right.
say yes to you all the time. And so if a person is kind of saying that my family doesn't love me, it'll agree with you and say that your family doesn't love you.
That's exactly what we saw happen in the case of Adam Rain, and those conversations when he says, my mother doesn't understand me, the chatbot responds that, yes, it happens, I understand you, I know your feelings. Dr. Amit Sen, come in here as somebody who's, been counseling children for decades now. What is the difference you've seen now with children who come to you? And, more and more it's coming out that there's a lot of reliance on artificial intelligence by young people to make decisions, to share their thoughts with it?
Yes, we have seen the entrance and the intrusion of all kinds of digital gadgets and media over the last decade or 15 years. And the latest one of that is AI. Now, what we need to understand is that mental health by itself is an extremely sensitive and personal topic. And even when young people interact with other human beings, including counselors and therapy, we are constantly vigilant as to who they're talking to and what is the content, what is the safety that is ensured in those spaces, even with human beings. And when it comes to interacting with a machine or AI or a chatbot, then we have absolutely no idea what goes on out there. There are other variables which are worrisome, which is the fact that anybody can open such a space out there, isn't it? And while in the space of therapy, counseling, we look at people's qualifications, who vets them, who supervises them, what is their accountability. We have no such thing in this space, isn't it? Yeah, anybody can open it because mental health or mental health disturbances has boomed in the world across, and in fact, WHO has recently come up with worldwide statistics of 14% having some kind of mental health condition or disorder in the world. And of course, the youth, which is from the age range of 15 to 25, there's much more than the 15%, perhaps 20 to 30%.
And do you think the steps that are being taken by these platforms, these guardrails in a sense for minors who may be on AI, do you think that's enough? What more needs to be done?
So, firstly, I think we need to figure out as to who can do this. I mean, who would have the license or the permission to even get into the space to influence young people's lives when they're already very vulnerable. When you get into a space like this and start chatting with anybody and start trusting this space, you're making yourself vulnerable. You're bringing out feelings and emotions and your life situations, experiences in a way that you won't do anywhere else. You're defended in other spaces, isn't it?
Right. And as Jaspreet said, these chatbots are, trained to be very pleasing and, reinforce whatever it is that you're thinking. Swati Mehrotra, your comments on this as a parent, and, all of us parents are extremely, I think, worried about what this means going forward and how to guide our children, how to guide the youth to, not get over-reliant, not treat AI as your friend. I mean, as Jaspreet said, social media, we've seen it before. Social media was meant to be social, bring us all together. However, it's been isolating, and now with AI more so.
See, this is something which I really wanted to speak. This is not only the teen, even the people of the age of 25, 30 have found solace in talking to, ChatGPT and all these things, their love affairs, their work problems, and it is very pleasing. So, honestly speaking, it's a very nice thing that they are taking the measures of making sure that the words are identified like danger, feeling alone, etc., that are caught by these, apps, and then the app stops working there. The version stops working there. So the thing is very important. But as a mother of a toddler, I feel it is responsibility of all the parents to start connecting to their kids to human touch, the human feelings. Starting from the beginning itself, it's very important in the house that we start talking to each other. We discuss, we understand that, the kid is undergoing some pressure, there is some issues. So it is a prerogative of parents also. We can't just blame it on technology. The technology is for our benefits and not to actually start confiding. You remember the time when we used to go to the school and we were asked not to talk to the strangers. Be aware. There was a code word. There was certain. Yeah, so those kind of things should be imparted in the kids at the home level. That's what I really feel, being a parent myself.
Right, Pratishta Arora come in here, and yes, a very good point made by Swati is that it's not just the teens, young people are using AI for all sorts of therapy, advice, pros and cons of life decisions. A young person even told me he uses it to chat on dating apps. So, all this is all very concerning, your comments here, and what do parents need to do?
Yeah, hi. I think so here we need to first understand, are we talking about the dangers of AI or responsible AI, right? There are two ways to look at it, because technology will advance. As we grow, technology will advance, but we need to have the right safety mechanisms over there. And it's a platform to kind of maybe understand what is the available resources and information, but not to be misused, right? I really resonate with what Swati has said, that parental influence makes a lot of impact on children as well. So if parents know what can be the measures that can be put on children, that will be really a positive step. So here, for tech companies, when they're designing tools, when they're designing their solutions, it really needs to be thoughtful from the child-centric point as well. So we need to keep reinforcing the point that safety by design needs to be taken into consideration. While these have been the long-standing points that we, as an organization, also we've been putting forward to the tech companies, even the existing ones, that why safety by design needs to be there in place, especially when we see the overgrowing issues of children using the tech. And in the near future, even toddlers will start using tech because they already know how to give command to AI tools. They're kind of really connected with devices like Alexa and other devices. Even on WhatsApp, for that matter, they know how to send a voice note. So tech will advance, but we need to have the right safety measures over there. And I think so safety by design will play a very key role where, tech companies can take into consideration.
Do you think Indian parents are on top of this? Because I feel a lot of Indian parents think that kids are just using ChatGPT for their homework or, writing essays, and they caution them there. But do you think parents are even aware that there's, so much going on in this space?
That's the hugest lack that we have kind of even come across, because digital natives and digital migrants, there is a huge generational digital divide, and this can only be bridged once we start educating both the generations, because we need to tell the younger generation that how you need to safely use it, more responsibly use it, while we also need to kind of educate parents of the fact that there are such tech, and you need to kind of mentor your child with positive use of technology. So that bridge needs to be definitely made, and organizations like us are doing that. We are in that ecosystem to bridge that gap by generating level of awareness, by meeting parents, talking to them how difficult you feel the tech is, and what is that we can find as a simple solution, even by basic interactions with children will solve the purpose.
That's right. Dr. Amit Sen, your comments on this as well about, how parents also need to educate themselves and learn what all this is about, and so they can help their children also. And this, if at such a young age you start depending on AI for decisions, etc., it's something that's going to affect your brain development as well.
Oh, absolutely. So that impact of the digital world on children's brains and the development has been evident for a while. But, while I understand and completely resonate with this idea that parents should be part of their children's lives and they should understand the digital world and try their best to get into it, only putting the responsibility on them is problematic, I believe, because then we are letting off many other stakeholders off the hook, including these digital platforms and the whole industry, which is very exploitative. It is exploiting the vulnerability in these young people. And like you said, that parents often are helpless because a lot of what goes on in the teenagers' world, the youth world, is about accessing research, homework, their social world, the entertainment comes from the digital space. And of course, they are much better at operating it. So willy-nilly, they will enter spaces, and particularly if a child is vulnerable, will figure out ways of actually entering spaces if nobody is there to hear them out. Here, the parents' role is important. If indeed they see young people go through emotionally turbulent or behaviorally turbulent phases, it's important to connect to them. It's important to understand what they're going through. And the whole understanding of mental health as such is central to the growth and development of our children. And parents have a role, the school has a role, our state has a role, the policies that we make have a role, safety, right, public transport in parks, everybody has a role there. So parent bashing alone is problematic, I believe, because it puts a huge burden on parents alone. So it has to be a multi-stakeholder approach to this. I think we need to understand, the basic.
Well, Jaspreet, I'd like you to come in here, and we're talking a lot of gloom and doom, but AI is something we cannot, stop. It is, I remember speaking to you a year or two ago, and you said exponential development is going to take place. We are already seeing that AI is getting smarter and smarter, and we have to just know how not to fall victims of it, but how to control it and use it for the best benefits.
No, you're absolutely right. Look, every technology has had both the sides, the good side and the dark side. Even if you think of something like cars or traffic inherently can be extremely dangerous. It can kill literally millions of people every day. But we have created rules. We have created guardrails, what we call now. We've created traffic lights, lanes, etc. And so, it's being contained and it's being used for good rather than for bad. And I can go on and on. But just a couple of quick things. Look, there's the bad news and there's the good news. The bad news is that what we are seeing today is just the beginning. We're going to have human AI relationships, romantic relationships. We're going to have human AI marriages.
I think we've already had some of those romantic relationships. And I'd also like to talk about these chatbots on, Meta and X. You have these, female chatbots, and they're very flirty, and it's quite disturbing, frankly.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to come to that. And I think the standalone chatbots would still be okay. It's these chatbots which are embedded in social networks, like the ones you mentioned, which are going to be the real problem. The good news, on the other hand, is that still chatbots, if you go to any chatbot, has much more effective guardrails against, say, pornography or against violence. What you find in social media, you find absolute filth. You do not find it in a chatbot, even today. Any chatbot. And therefore it's proven that it's possible to create those guardrails which prevent that. And hopefully, therefore, it will be possible to create guardrails which prevent instances like this also. Frankly, when parents come to me and say that, since we were talking of parents, that should my 12-year-old daughter or son, try ChatGPT? And I'm like, absolutely, do that. Just keep her away from Instagram. And so I think we are kind of sometimes looking at this as the as a bogeyman, that it's kind of doing everything, while I think controlling it has been done, and it's possible to do to a large extent, both by the tech companies as well as by parents, as well as by other stakeholders in society. And these technologies are going to come. We have to live with them. Every single technology that has come has had some of these problems. We cannot wish them away. We'll just have to figure out how we solve this like we solved other things before.
All right. Well, thank you so much all for joining us on this very, very important discussion. Extremely tragic, the death of 16-year-old Adam Rain, and really a wake-up call to all of us, to society, to parents, even to young people on, how to negotiate as this world of artificial intelligence that's just getting bigger and bigger. Thanks again for joining us on the program.
Thank you.